So for you, you could agree with that.
Oh, hell yeah. I cannot believe Jon Stewart interviewed this fucking ogre. I cannot believe that the ogre put on a suit, not for Benjamin Netanyahu for once, but instead for Johnny Boy, Johnny Stewart.
Them 90%, but Israel is the red line.
Absolutely. Israel for me. Like I can't ever turn my...
That's insane, man. Why are you saying that out loud is what I would say if I thought that he had working brain cells, but he doesn't. So that's why he's saying dumb shit like this.
My back to Israel after where it's at.
So, and I mean no disrespect on this, but that is not our country. You're saying that these candidates may have great ideas for our economy. They may want to do the exact same thing you want to do in terms of getting money out of politics. They may want to increase the social safety net. They may want to change the balance of power from capital back to labor. But if they don't agree with you on Israel, you don't want them in your party.
At some point, you got to realize it's not your party, big dog. Israel approval ratings in the Democratic Party is the same as being like anti-choice, okay, being pro-life. Like, could you imagine Henry Cuellar going on like CNN and being like, yeah, if a Democrat is for abortion, then they need to get the fuck out of my party. Like if a Democrat wants to allow abortions, then they need to get the fuck out of my party, which is the obviously like anti-abortion party. That's crazy. You can't be saying stuff like that. No one will take you seriously. The only thing you can say that about is Israel, obviously, because you know, people are, up until recently, people had to be a lot more careful about how they criticize Israel because, you know, AIPAC could dump a shit ton of money.
Well, I don't know who you're referencing to specifically.
No, I'm referencing what you just said.
Name
So
one.
in other words, Syed or AOC or Bernie Sanders, I assume you agree with a lot of what they say economically.
No, he doesn't.
And what I'm saying is, like, if you are a DSA member, if you are a member of a specific political party, run under your own banner. And now I think Bill Maher said something very insightful. He said, you know, the DSA are colonizing the Democratic Party. So just be Democrats if you're going to run under the Democratic Party for that. Why have a DSA?
Bill Maher has never said anything insightful. I mean, I guess it makes sense. You're fucking brain dead. All right, let's finish the John Fetterman thing and then we'll look at
Party for overall. So run on that and you all understand.
It's just an organization. It's not, we have a two-party system. We don't, it's like the Freedom Caucus in the Republican Party. There are, you know, there's Randy Fine and Ogles and all these nutbags that are also part of an area, and Republicans, I'm sure, may not agree with all of them on all kinds of things, but there is no other party.
Well,
I guess you could try it, but my point is, if you don't disagree with them on a lot of things, why not use some of that energy? And even like Mamdani in New York is DSA, but there are things in the DSA platform that he disagrees with. And I'm assuming there's probably things in the Democratic platform that you might disagree with, but you don't disavow the entire thing. You're literally saying we can all have discussions, except when it comes to Israel, which is not America. It seems like a weird line to draw.
Well, so then, I don't think that's weird. I think
okay, this week of conversations where John Fetterman talks to prominent American Jews in the media, and those prominent American Jews in the media keep going, dude, you're a little too obsessed with Israel. What the fuck is going on with that? Has been hilarious. This isn't the only time John Fetterman has been approached. He went on Wolf Blitzer, and Wolf Blitzer said the exact same thing. Now, John Stewart is Jewish, always been Israel critical. Wolf Blitzer, on the other hand, used to be the spokesperson for AIPAC. Literally, Wolf Blitzer was the spokesperson for AIPAC. And even Wolf was like, why are you doing this insane red line on fucking Israel? This doesn't make any sense. Where is this coming from?
I think what history demonstrates is that when people or a government or people turn their back to the Jewish community, things end really badly. And it's a dangerous...
Jewish community and Israel are not the same thing, brother man. They're not, that is not the same thing.
No. It's like, hey, it's like if I have to pick a side for after 10/7 and after Iran, I'm always going to stand with Israel. I'm always going to vote and support whatever that's necessary to protect themselves and to prosecute Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran too.
There are people in Netanyahu's cabinet who have.
Dude, again, okay, let's go to Wolf Blitzer real quick. This is not one but two prominent Jews in American media literally calling out John Fetterman's level of fealty to Israel. It's so funny. Like, I'm sorry, dude. Like Wolf Blitzer, again, Apex posters and Wolf Blitzer, like, don't you think it's kind of weird?
Why is Israel, another country, your red line right now, this is what your critics are saying, rather than a domestic issue that impacts Americans?
He's like, what? What are you talking about? Like, why is Israel so important? Like, why isn't it like healthcare or something? I don't know, something that like your state cares about.
Everyday lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with a lot of Democrats too. And then when you migrate into these extreme kinds of views and embrace the kinds of people that should really be considered toxic. So, of course, I'm entitled to my opinion. And if you're proud to campaign with those individuals, great. That's really up to them.
That wasn't the question, dumbass. By the way, one thing I noticed, anytime John Fetterman appears on a network that isn't Fox News, that's like really babying him and like trying to get him to say whatever deranged thing he's about to say, he just short circuits. Like, he is genuinely incapable of responding to like normal questions. I don't know if like Fox News gives them the questions ahead of time so he can like write his responses. It's very funny that they're just, it's a sad state of affairs, really. It's funny, but it's also kind of sad that this is a fucking senator and he's so visibly brain damaged. Like, it is unbelievable that we have a motherfucking senator. I mean, half of our senators are geriatric and this one's at least like age appropriate, but he is like visibly brain damaged. It's crazy. He can't speak, man. It's unbelievable. This is the wealthiest nation on earth. And our last two presidents shat in their fucking diapers. And we got a bunch of senators who are also doing the same thing. And then another one whose brain is leaking out of his ear.
I called trash Plattner. I called that he is a real problem. And now why people seem to be okay with it. Why was Bernie Sanders okay with the guy? And he was already the Nazi tattoo. And after all the allegations of roughing up his ex-girlfriends and saying terrible things, indefensible things online, and you would push these kinds of candidates that put our ability to reclaim the majority at serious risk.
Do you think they have dirt on him? No, dude. First of all, Buddy doesn't have the brain processing capabilities to recognize, even if he, like, in order to be blackmailed, you have to have shame. And in order to feel shame, you have to have working brain cells. John Fetterman has no brain cells that are working and no capacity to feel shame. And therefore, he is unblackmailable. He just has a handler.
Israel was entirely open to a two-state solution. They were offered a two-state solution. I actually got a chance to talk to former President Clinton about that, and reminds the people that they were offered 96% of the West Bank and they get to pick 4%, for part of Israel. And they had East Jerusalem as the capital, and they would have had their entire nation now going on 26 years. Now they reject that. They did not want a two-state solution. They have a one-state solution, and that's from the river to the sea. And that's part of why anti-Semitism is run amok in our college campuses and in the streets. And now there are protesters showing up in my office at my home and following me and screaming and calling about and claiming about genocide. And now it's not a genocide. And if there was a genocide, that's because Iran refuses to relinquish this idea that they can destroy Israel.
Oh, so there is also he's like, well, and if there's a genocide, it's good and worthwhile. It's awesome. Oh my God, is it? No. Someone say he's wearing an Israeli tie? No. Am I crazy? Was that the choice of his handler to make me go crazy? No, right? There was this moment. John Fetterman crashes out over Abdul Say winning and starts crying about Hassan Piker on the Jon Stewart podcast.
Sort of energy and economic populism is a response to that.
Well, what is that? Is that socialism? And in more, it's communism. It's, that's not an economic model that has never worked in the history.
But that sounds like a caricature. El Sayed is running on. He wants to ban corporate money, wants to tax, I guess, higher taxes on billionaires for housing and education, Medicare for all. When you say that's communism, that feels like a caricature.
No, I never said that. I call real communists that are cheering for communism people like Hassan Piker, for example. He's a big influence, in the Democratic Party conversation, and he is a communist. He celebrates Mao and describes and is going to be proud to visit Cuba and stand on people on those sides.
Yeah, I am proud to have visited Cuba and delivered humanitarian aid to a country that were fucking starving. Suck my dick, dumbass.
Not a smear. That's just using the kinds of words and the positions that he has made part of his platform.
So you're saying he says, I'm a communist and I want America to be communist.
No, I'm saying that, that he has the kinds of views. Now, you were very, very instrumental in delivering aid for victims of 9/11. You've been here and you've been very effective for doing that. For an individual that says that America, we deserve that. Hey, I'm deeply offended by that, and I don't support that, and I'm certainly not going to campaign with him, or I'm not going.
This is a fucking talking point because he's just like going down the talking points, and he's just trying to like grab onto anything he can.
Explain that way.
Well, Bill Maher said that the 9/11 terrorists weren't cowards, and you went on his podcast and you talk to him all the time. So I guess what I'm saying is, aren't you cherry picking certain things and maybe losing the forest for the trees?
The two things are not the same.
Yeah, Bill Maher's is objectively worse. And if you were to say, oh, well, Bill Maher apologized for it. Yeah, so did I, bitch.
Making a statement compared to saying that we deserve that, opposed to describing it in different terms.
Wait, what? Mine you could chalk up as like the wrong word choice. With Bill Maher, he was just straight up. He said it with his full pussy, dude. He put his pussy into it.
Just not the same.
But he's not running.
And Bill Maher is not a communist too. Bill Maher does not describe Hamas as 1,000% better than Israel.
So for you, it literally is. They've made statements in the past, or their economic policies are more sympathetic to socialism.
Yeah, mine was blowback. Bill was just saying they're brave.